What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode number 22 of the Daily Show with DanRam. I am so delighted to welcome you to yet another episode where we try to talk about something relevant, talk about something that is useful right now, but all with a positive, hopeful spin. I don't know where I'm catching you today. I don't know if you're in your bedroom, if you're in your living room, if you're in the kitchen or in the toilet, but wherever you're watching from, you're welcome. And I'm so glad to have you here. We usually get people from all different parts of the world. And I have to say, as I've been using this platform, I've been learning things. For example, I learned how to get the logo over there. Wow. I also learned how to get the banner and the border, but I also learned that I'm not getting all the comments that people are posting. So if I don't see it the first time, please share it again. Please comment again. And hopefully this platform called StreamYard will show it because I love the interaction. This whole show is literally for you. I mean, I benefit too. I get to meet great people. I get to connect with you guys. But this is our show. This is our 30 minutes to hang out and hopefully learn something. And today, the topic is this: how to promote yourself. Now, I know for some people, especially in Europe and maybe in Asia, you're like, I don't know. Do I need to promote myself? That's like an American thing. And then some people are like, I got it. I know how to promote myself. This is not necessary. But the context has changed. The situation has changed. And I think the value here is storytelling and communicating and understanding your value and communicating that value effectively. So we don't need to like use the buzzword to promote yourself or sell yourself or any of those things. But I do want this conversation to be valuable as to how do you see yourself and how do you share that with your audience. So I want to say hello to whoever is watching, wherever you're watching from. Do comment so I can give you a shout out. If you're comfortable with that, just tell me what city you're in. That's all I need to know. Just tell me what city you're in and where you're watching from. And I'd love to give a shout out to you. And we've already got a comment here. First person to comment today, Prem, saying the most awaited one. He's been looking forward to today's conversation, which I'm excited about. So Prem, today's going to be a good day. Get your questions lined up because my next guest is not afraid to take questions or to answer your questions. He's got an answer because this is what he does as a profession. He helps entrepreneurs and artists connect and to sell and to crowdfund and all of this amazing stuff. And so, yes, I'm so glad that you're here. Alco is in Ireland, I believe, if I've got that right. And so you're welcome as well. Thank you so much. We've got Ram in New Delhi that is watching in. So thank you so much for watching. Ram's an artist. So we've got some entrepreneurs and artists already. So today's show is going to be great for you. I have a book suggestion and then a video suggestion. So my book suggestion for you is The Future is Faster Than You Think. It's written by two guys, Peter Diamandis and Stephen Kotler. And so I will put that over here, the book suggestion. The Future is Faster Than You Think. And the reason is because a lot of you ask me in my messages and my emails where I think the world is going to be after coronavirus and what industries are going to take off and which ones are not. This book is all about the future industries, technologies, innovations, what is going to direct our future, who are the big players going to be. And so if that is of interest, grab a hold of this. Some of you are not in the reading mode, and I have to admit, I'm not always in the reading mode. Although if you do follow me on Instagram right now, I am totally in the reading mode. And every single day I've been dissecting what it is to be in flow state or ecstasy. And so if you want more about that, then watch the Instagram or Facebook stories on the topic. But some of you prefer watching videos. And today I came across some videos that are hilarious. So yesterday was a music suggestion. Today I've got like a series suggestion. So there's a bunch of people that don't have jobs anymore. For example, me as a public speaker, as an event host, there are no events, there are no stages. And so I don't have a job. But commentators and sports commentators, what are they doing? Well, you don't have to guess any longer because I'm about to show you some hilarious clips. Yesterday, I kind of figured out how to do this whole share screen thing. So we're going to try this again today, but I have to show you this video. So next coming up is a rugby announcer. And let's see what exactly he is commentating on right now.
You join me live for what I've been told is the two-team dogging final, and these two, Vanilla and Chocolate, doing really well here. Vanilla just over the hillock in the distance, Chocolate in hot pursuit. There's been some lovely footwork, and there it is again from Vanilla. That's excellent. The Spaniel now out in front, and that's confused the hell out of it. Doesn't know where it is, twisting and turning. This Vanilla is such a worthy champion, scampering away. Are we going to get a second lap? Just beginning to build up. No, she breaks it off just as quickly as she started it. Spaniel, all at 6s and 7s. Quick whittle after that one, I should think. Lovely.
So that is a little video of a rugby commentator just taking a look at dogs running around. This one that's coming up is about the crossroad dash. All right. So everyone knows when the light turns green for humans, you want to cross a road. So take a look. I forgot to add the audio. So here we go. That was me failing at using StreamYard. And let's go Chrome tab. Bam, crossroad dash. Let's take a look at this hilarious video.
Crossroad dash, light turns to red. We wait for the beats. There they are now then. JD Sportsman, he's got a decent start. Leggings on the outside. Oh, JD Sportsman a bit distracted over the shoulder. And Leggings is going to get there. Oh, she does it again. 3 titles in 3 days. Off past Vegas Gold for the lap of honor. Victorious.
So if you're looking for some lighthearted fun, then I would suggest looking up hashtag live commentary or just typing it on YouTube, commentators, sports commentators, daily tasks or something of that sort. All right. Now that I have shared hopefully some suggestions to take your time while you are in quarantine or lockdown or whatever is going on in your country, I want to share something that I think is super, super important. And it's the topic of promoting yourself, sharing your story. And I cannot believe I'm about to introduce next character. He's straight out of Boston. He's a brand new dad. He's a connector. He's a coach. It is the wonderful Derrick Duplessy. How you doing, my man?
DanRam, I'm doing excellent. It's good to see you today. It's good to be alive.
It is good to be alive. I always end the show with saying today is a gift. Don't be afraid to start now. Start simple. So I'm glad we're starting the show with saying it's a good day to be alive. And I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for being on the show.
My absolute pleasure. I'm ready, locked, and loaded to provide value to your guests. Let's go.
All right. In which case, let's put you to the test. We're going to start with the rapid fire round, 60 seconds. And are you ready? Your 60 seconds ready?
Always. Let's go. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. 60 seconds starting right now. Your favorite place to eat out?
Oh, was it Kowloon in Boston?
Have you ever worked for the FBI?
I have worked for the FBI. I was in an undercover sting operation where we were trying to figure out why teenagers were doing keno gambling.
Okay. What's one thing you need to do every morning to get the day started?
Brush my teeth, take a shower, get my prayer on, do a little bit of reading, and if I can run 6 miles or so, it'd be about 2-3 kilometers. Way more, 10 kilometers, then I'm good.
All right. What other languages do you speak?
I speak Creole. That's my native language. I speak English. Hopefully you guys can understand that. And I speak a little bit of Japanese as well.
What's the most memorable thing that's happened to you on a holiday?
Oh, man. I want to say that, when I was running the Boston Marathon, that was pretty wild. And here in Boston, it's a holiday. It's called Marathon Monday. And that's when the bombing went down. It was pretty wild. My first marathon ever. And I couldn't believe what was going on.
Yikes. What's the most money you've ever crowdfunded?
Wow. $1.1 million.
Do you have any tattoos?
No tattoos that I am aware of.
Last question, Derrick. How long have you been a dad?
I've been a dad for about 4 days and some minutes, some hours.
That is amazing. I am not a dad, but a lot of my friends, I have witnessed them being single, getting engaged, getting married, And those are all stressful. But then when the kid comes, it's a whole different level. And I cannot believe that you were able to find some time to be with us today. So thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. What's your kid's name, by the way?
His name is DJ. DJ
DJ.
Duplessy. Yeah.
Yes. What a powerful name. What a powerful man he shall be. DJ Duplessy. So, Derrick, we're going to be talking about how to promote ourselves. This is what you do as a career. You help, you coach artists and entrepreneurs. You're a sales coach. You are a lot of different coaches. You're basically helping these people succeed. And so, for today's conversation, I would love to talk about what do we do now, like during this time. I'm not talking about like when everything's great and we're living in bubbles, we can charge what we want, but like right now in the season, what do we do? So let's start off with the most obvious question, which is now the time to be thinking about self-promotion or should we be focusing on other stuff?
Self-promotion is super important right now. It's really interesting because the way that people think about self-promotion is look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. So I'll tell you a quick story about self-promotion. So a few years ago, I was negative $1,000 in my bank account.
Okay.
And I was just didn't have any money. And at that time, the only way that I can get to my office was to thanks for the congrats, by the way. The only way I can get to my office was basically to walk, and it's about 5 kilometers or 3.1 miles each way. So I was walking 10 kilometers every day just to get to and from work. And what I decided to do, the first 15 days of that month, it was December. It was tough. So I was just trying to chase money, but something happened, and I said, you know what? If I'm going to go down, and if I can't have access to this beautiful co-working space, I'm just going to ask people what they're working on and see how I can help. And just flipping that script, that all of a sudden, all these people were coming out of the woodwork. They were saying, hey, you helped out this person. Can you help me out as well? I heard that you're able to work with this person, etc. And by the end of that month, I was able to generate enough revenue to cover my expenses for the next year.
Wow, that is amazing. So what I'm hearing is self-promotion is not about look at me, look at me, look at me. I'm the best, I'm the best, I'm the best. So then the question is, what is self-promotion? What is healthy promotion? What are some of the core tenets or pillars of great promotion?
Well, I look at storytelling, right? And storytelling is one of the great art forms that we have in human existence. And one of the taboos of storytelling is telling. Telling is not selling. So if you're like, hey, I'm great, you should work with me. I'm a great designer. I'm a great coder, whatever it might be. Um, Prove it. I don't get it. There's no trust built up. Why should I believe you? And
Yeah.
so if you actually create a track record of helping people by just saying, hey, I heard that you have this challenge, or what's your biggest challenge right now? If you just literally reach out to 10 people via text message or DM and say, hey, man, I know times are rough, or, hey, friend, I know times are difficult. How can I help you right now? What's your biggest challenge? Let me see if I can hook you up, or if I can find somebody who can. That right there is the best form of self-promotion, because you're showing instead of telling. So when people see for themselves the value that you can provide, that's when they believe anything that you have to say afterwards, because they've already seen what you're able to deliver.
I love that, showing rather than telling. There's a bunch of people that grabbed onto that. I'm just going to pull out one here. Alex, who's in Austin, Texas, says creating a track record does build trust. And that's super important. I also think on a personal level, it's really important for momentum. The more of it that you do yourself, you also build your own confidence and excitement and
No doubt.
just knowledge and insights. And so that track record rather than those promises out there.
Hmm.
So what I also love about that and asking people where they're at and how they need help is that something that can be happening right now. Like whether it's past clients, whether it's prospective clients, or whether it's just your neighbors, everybody is always in a place of need in some area of your life. So if I'm understanding you correctly, Derrick, what you're suggesting is start with them rather than start with yourself. Is that correct?
Correct. One of the challenges that I had in that month and throughout life is, am I enough? Do I have enough value to provide to somebody for them to even feel like I'm legitimate? And the interesting thing is, you're not thinking about that when you're helping somebody. You're in the middle of
Mm,
helping somebody. So you're tricking your brain into stop thinking about whether you're not, whether you have what it takes or not. You're in the moment, you're helping people. So that's not a consideration anymore. So it's really about um, taking the mindset of, do I have enough? And just saying, let me try and see how I can be helpful. One thing I'll practically say to folks is, go on your LinkedIn network or your Instagram network or your Facebook network or wherever you um, have a network, and just reach out to 10 people and say, hey, what's up? What are you doing right now? And how can I be helpful? Just getting a response, I'm telling you, there's a lot of things that you can learn. One of the things I do every month is I reach out to 40 people and just say, hey, what's up? I tell them one thing about me that's new. So, for example, in my case, it's that I'm a new dad. And then I would just say, what's going on with you? That's it. The email doesn't have to be more than 20 words. So you can do this as a DM, you can do this as a LinkedIn post. Be creative, and you'll be surprised what people come back to you with.
yeah.
And you'll also be surprised that some of the people that reach back out are some of the big fish that you've been trying to reach out to, trying to be fancy, trying to promote yourself um, in a way where you're presenting yourself as bigger than you are. But if you just reach out as a human being to another human being and just reach out with empathy, you'll be surprised what your response rate will be.
I love that. Being human, it is actually that simple. You know, be generous, love, connect. Like these are such human elements, and the more human you can be, um, even because it's true. Like I'm a perfectionist, Derek, and so sometimes I'll think to myself, I can't just send an email. Like I need to have a newsletter strategy. I need to have like a sequence of 40 emails ready to go. Or I'll think, if I send an email and they say they need help with something, I need to have that PDF ready to send it to them right away. Or I need to get a really good photo, and that photo has to go to a graphic designer to edit it. But what I'm hearing is actually keep it simple, do it now, reach out to the people that are in your network at this moment, and just be human. Um, I love that. And David says, love it. Reach out to 10 people. How can I help you? What is your biggest challenge? Maybe I can help you, or I can find someone who can. Hashtag wow. So that is true. Dominic is in Germany and he says, so simple and powerful. Very, very true. There's a bunch of comments coming in, but I do have to ask, how do you get over, and you kind of answer that in what you were saying before, but there are people that are hearing this, but still going, yeah, then they'll tell me they need help with something and I'm not that person, or I'm not good enough. Like, how do you work that inner monologue?
The awesome part about that is, the more honest with yourself and the other person that you can be, the better your confidence will be. So if somebody says to me, Derek, I can't, I my biggest problem right now is I need a coder. I'm not a coder. I'm not gonna be like, yo, I got Java skills up the wazoo. I know Ruby on Rails. I don't know any of that stuff. But guess
Yeah.
what? Somebody in my network does. So even
Uh-huh.
if I don't have somebody in mind, I'm just gonna be like, hey, my man DanRam needs some help with Ruby on Rails. Who who can help, right? And the beautiful thing about that is, the even the people who can't help you with the request, they see you reaching out in an honest way, and they're like, whoa, Derrick is really a stand-up dude. He's presenting opportunities for others to thrive. So now when you reach out for something that is a little bit more self-serving, they'll say, you know what, Derrick is always making sure that he puts opportunities out for people, so I'm going to make sure I open up an opportunity for him. So that's, I think it's about getting busy serving so
Mm,
that you're not so distracted with all of the junk in your head about whether you can or can't, or how people are going to perceive you, and how you might perceive yourself. So as long as you're putting stuff out there, you're actually starting to change the story about yourself by taking deliberate and consistent action.
I love that. That's fantastic. Derrick, can I ask a question that's a little bit more personal?
Sure, no
Which
doubt.
is, I I know what my core skills are and
Hmm.
how I can help people. Is there a proactive way rather than a reactive way to be promoting during this time?
Yes. So your skill set is that you're a master MC. And, right now, there's a lot of folks that are flying blind, right?
Mhm.
So they're putting up their Zooms and they're trying to create conferences and things like that. But, you know, when people jump on, it's dead. It's not really live. The folks that are presenting the conferences don't know how to engage and all that stuff. So you can just say, hey, I know you guys are having conference X, or I know that you guys are having a challenge right now with how to make sure that your online events are really well attended, that you keep people engaged, that people stay on, etc. I'm happy to volunteer my services, um, and just let me know what you need. But here is all the places where I've emceed, and you'll be interesting. It'll be interesting because I think if you reach out to 100, and that's my favorite number. If you
Uh-huh.
haven't reached out to 100 people, I'm not crying for you. I have no pity for you whatsoever. 100, because the math will be on your side. I like to say,
Yeah.
if you don't believe in God, believe in math. So reach out to 100 people
Uh-huh.
with your skill set, your zone of genius. In your case, is being an MC.
Uh-huh.
Reach out to all the tech conference, people who had to cancel their conference because it was in April and May, and they're scrambling and they're trying to figure out what to do, and say, hey, I've been an MC at these three places. I would love to MC your online conference or workshop, and then see what happens. If those people don't have a spot for you because you were sincere, they might find somebody who has a need for your services.
Nice. Okay. And so, what I'm hearing for myself and for others who have had clear objectives, passions, pathways before this is find a way to adapt it to the current situation and go back to the same people you're working with before and still respond to their pain points, their problems, their struggles in this moment. And so, for any of my team that are watching right now, this is our action plan tomorrow. We're going to write to all of my existing clients. We're going to write something simple and basic and just, hey, how are you? Hope you're surviving this odd time in life, this crazy season. Um, what are you up to? This is what I'm up to. So keep it simple. And once they respond, at that point, come back in with like, hey, I've actually been helping some online conferences and hosting the same stuff we used to do before, except now virtually. Boom. Can we help you out? Is that correct? Is
Let's
that like
let's be let's get real tactical. Okay. I'm really literally writing the email for you right now verbally. All
okay?
right. All right. So hey, first name. Um, let me know how you doing. It's pretty crazy out there. Um, I'm holed up in wherever you are.
Uh-huh.
Uh, do you guys need an MC for your upcoming virtual conferences? I know things are crazy right now. I'm happy to volunteer my services. That's it.
Okay.
And see how they respond.
All right. I like it. I like it. We're going to act on that tomorrow. Good thinking. Derrick, tell me a little bit about the common mistakes you have seen when people are trying to promote themselves, that anyone who's watching right now should avoid.
So the big thing is people are trying to make themselves bigger than they are.
Mm,
Everybody's, I see you with Logan Paul, I see you with Richard Branson, you're doing big things, but still, I'm still going to judge you on our interaction
yes.
and who you are as a person and how you receive me and how you treat others. So I'm not so interested in, you know, um, all these big names you might put out there or one big accomplishment that you're putting out there. I'm more interested in how you've helped somebody like me if
Ooh,
you're
good.
pitching to me, right? So if you said, hey, I was on stage with Richard Branson and I've met Logan Paul and I could be the MC of your event, I'm a little turned off because I haven't met Richard Branson and I haven't met Logan Paul. But if you said, "Hey, I worked at this event which is very much like yours,
Yeah,
and just trying to see how I can provide value," um, drop me a line, let me know what you're struggling with. That right there is much more human. It's much more
good.
humble,
Okay.
and I think people would do much better in terms of the results because believability is really important. And I'm a big frameworks guy, so I'm gonna just toss a framework out there.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's Plato or Socrates, one of those two. They had three different pillars of an argument. And it's
Okay.
really important for you to understand this when
Okay.
you're promoting yourself. One is ethos, and that's about your credibility, right? If your credibility is not there, if people don't believe what you're saying,
Mm,
then your argument's dead. The
true.
other piece is pathos,
Hmm.
and pathos is about emotion. If I can't feel anything from what you're saying, whether it's your results, a story that you're telling, or just your excitement and your passion, it's really hard for me to stay connected to you as a human being. So, what
Yeah.
you said from the ethos perspective could make sense and you can have credibility, but if I don't feel anything as a human being, it's hard for me to be engaged enough to move forward with you. And the
Mm,
last piece of sort of that triangle of a really good argument. So you have ethos, which is your credibility, pathos, which is emotion, right? The third piece is logos, and that is your actual logic, right?
yeah.
So I have to see a pattern. One, two, three, A, B, C. Is what you're saying, does it make sense to me? Can I see the sequence? Can I see the progression? And does it make sense just from a logic perspective? So those are the three things that I think everybody should be trying to incorporate into their communication. Um, and if you're just being honest, it's easy to just do those things naturally. But if you're trying to pump yourself up to be something that you're not, then either your ethos, logos, or pathos, your credibility, your logic, or your emotion is not going to be there and people won't take action.
That is some solid gold. Wow, that is good. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing those three pillars and the framework. That is such a great framework. So thank you for sharing that. As far as practical things that people can do right now during this, okay, this is the last question I've got for Derrick. But if any of you have questions, feel free to pop it in here, and then be happy to ask Derrick. So we've got some comments here. Love your simplicity and mindset, Derrick, which is so good. So if there are entrepreneurs right now, if they're freelancers right now, if they're artists right now that are sitting at home and trying to figure out how to use their time effectively, what are some practical things they can be doing right now? What platforms should they look at? What should they be doing to build a brand or position themselves? Yeah.
So I'm a big fan of consistency and you have to have an hour of power. A lot of
Right.
people have excuses and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I don't have time, et cetera, et cetera." We got time now. We got time, baby.
Yeah.
Um, so even if an hour just feels like too much, I would say reach out to 10 people per day, 10 minutes. You could literally copy the message and reach out to 10 people. I don't care what the platform is. It could be Instagram, DM, Twitter, DM, email, text message. I'm a big fan of text messages because that's one of the channels where people respond the most. Facebook Messenger is another channel where people respond very quickly, right? If you say, I'm going to reach out to 10 people per day, every day for the next 3 weeks, I guarantee you're going to get some leads, you're going to get some interest. And if you follow up with those people and follow through with those people, um, you'll be generating more leads and interest and promoting yourself better than you have before all this global pandemic. Guarantee it. And I'll just give a quick example. So, an artist who I work with, she's right now working on a solo show. It's really an important show where she's working on domestic violence and sort of showing that it can happen to anyone.
Mm.
So she said, Derek, what do I do first? Right? I don't know what to do. I want to make this international. And so I said, find two or three artists that you think are interesting who could help amplify this message, reach out to them, and just get their feedback. You're not asking for anything other than their feedback. So she found this artist on Instagram who's very much about women's empowerment, and she had a really great self-portrait series. So she wrote a very long meandering email, which I would not advise. This email was at least 100, 200 words. Uh,
Wow.
and I guess the pathos was there. The emotion was there in the email. And she got a conversation with this artist, and the assistant to the artist said, "You have 15 minutes." They spoke for about 8 minutes, and the artist was like, I don't know if this is what I want to do right now, but I'm not saying no. So let's keep the conversation going. And that's all that her name is Anne. She's French. That's all Anne needed to keep the ball rolling.
Right.
So you don't need much to build momentum, as you were saying, but you do need to take consistent action.
Yes. I love that. Taking consistent action and this whole hour of power. Because I do know there are some people who are disappointed that they don't have the same level of motivation or momentum as they used to. And we're all in a little bit of a spin right now. So if you can just take that 1 hour, and consistent micro actions does lead to significant moves over time. And so I love that. It's better to have like you're saying, consistency every single day than to have like a guilt trip Friday where you just write 400 emails and you're exhausted at the end of it, but rather just take out a little piece every single day. That is so good. Derrick, I can't thank you enough, man. You have shared so much good value to people. How can people find out more about you or get in touch with you?
I'm excited that I was have able to have this platform and provide some value to folks all around the world. So I will say this right now: there's two platforms. I don't post a lot, but if you DM me, I will definitely reach out. Twitter, D Duplessy, DDUPLESSY. That's on Twitter, and on Instagram, I am PYP Star, and you can just look up Derrick Duplessy and you can find me on there as well. So DM me because starting in May, after we figure out this baby thing, um, starting in May, we're going to have monthly sessions where I work with entrepreneurs around the world and we coach them through what their challenges are from a sales standpoint. It's going to be absolutely free, and we're going to do it via Facebook Live, and we want to provide as much value as possible. So I'm going to put that on my Twitter bio. I'm going to put that on my LinkedIn bio and everything else, and Instagram. But Twitter and Instagram, DM me. I will holler back. I'm looking forward to being helpful to you.
That's amazing. Derrick, thank you so very much. If you just hang out backstage for a second, I'll be with you there. All right, so that was the wonderful Derrick Duplessy. This is what he does. I mean, he shared in just about 20 minutes so much value. So imagine what it is working with a coach like that who just understands how to connect with people, how to really add value into the atmosphere, into the community. So I want to thank you guys for joining another episode today. Tomorrow, we have got an incredible gentleman called Chris Wolfelt, who is going to be joining us, and he's going to be talking about the essential ingredients to build a great community. And the reason we're talking about that is I do hear you when a lot of people are feeling a little bit more lonely and a little bit more detached than normal. And we want to explore ways that we can actually build community, not just plateau or stagnate, but to build community during this time, and ways that you can serve the community, and ways that you can be a blessing to people. So that's what we're going to be talking about tomorrow. But keep checking social media, because every single day we've got incredible guests, from rappers to producers to teen prodigy YouTubers, and a variety of people from the business world and the art world and so much more. So I want to thank you guys for joining and for being part of this. I'm going to end with this one quick note here from Alex. Incredible. Thank you, Derrick and Dan, for an insightful show. Thank you, Alex, for watching, and thank you all for watching. Always end with this. Today's a gift. Don't be afraid to start now. Start simple. Take care, y'all. See you tomorrow night.